Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Pisces. So, Pisces, I'm doing a reading as usual with my own deck of cards. So, the cards that you'll see are from this deck. Yesterday, I was so excited to restart the readings for Aquarius that I didn't even do this part. So, now I'm just reminding myself that that is important to introduce the deck, because I feel like that is a way to set the tone in a sense, and it's almost like a formal presentation of what you'll see next. So Pisces, now let's go into your message today. I feel like, you know what, I woke up today from not necessarily a bad dream, but like an uncomfortable dream that I remember most of it, and I remember the discomfort in it. So that was, with me since I woke up. And so I was wondering, does this have to do with Pisces, with the reading for today? And the interesting thing is that the first card, and to be honest, the last card here in your first part, Pisces, has to do with unclarity, with something that is confusing, or fogginess. Like your mind doesn't see clearly what you're receiving, or what, yeah, it feels more like in the realm of thinking logically. But then, as I said, it's like the first and the last card that I'm going to show you in a second, but it starts with you trying to understand with your mind. It starts with you trying to make sense of perhaps abstract symbols, right? Such as dreams. But there's also this switch, or this flip, that your reading is guiding in a sense that you cannot understand, you know, uh, unconscious symbols with your mind. It has to be with your heart. So keep that in mind right now, because it will make sense as I progress the reading. But I feel like there's something that you are receiving in waves, because we start off with the Seven of Swords, and this card reminded me not only of this uncomfortable dream that I had this morning, but because it's not the first, right? That's the thing. It's like it has been coming in waves, right? Waves of not so good dreams. And so this word, right, waves, it reminded me that, when you are at the beach and you see that one big wave coming, I don't know if you know this, but there is a series of 7 big waves that are going to follow, right? Or, 6 following that first one. So this is talking about a series of maybe uncomfortable situations, or I want to stay in this realm of dreams because it's more abstract, is more, it's not necessarily like a, perhaps if it is, a situation in your daily life, Pisces, it feels like it's what is behind it, right? It's like what is in between the lines is what I'm hearing right now. It's like, think of the symbols behind the discomfort. Think of what you're being given, right? It's like there is a mix of things, of information, of symbols, of images, of insights, of triggers perhaps, that are coming in waves. And these waves are perhaps overwhelming. I want to say overwhelming in the sense that they create this fogginess, right? This unclarity, this confusion, right? And this is something that I want to say you, Pisces, are aware of because of the Sun card. And you're showing up actually I'm going to show you already. You're showing up next, you know, in a couple of cards, as the Queen of Swords. And here you are receiving 7 swords. So these are things, that's why I want to stay in this realm of dreams and visions and abstract information or symbols, right? Because it seems to be your domain, it seems to be your territory. And I want to say already, you know, what I was receiving from this Queen of Swords, that is very clear actually, which is, you know, that is the reason why I feel like there is confusion, because to you, Pisces, you know better. This is what I heard with this Queen of Swords. I know better, right? And this is what I'm seeing also with the Sun card. I feel like you are awake. I feel like you are aware. There is consciousness. There is sunlight, right? It's like it's clear as day that this is going on. There is no denial that these waves of intense discomfort, or it's like there's something poking on you, right? Or poking at you. It's like you know that there is something there, right? You cannot ignore this because it's like a series of big waves. You just have to go through it, right? It's like you cannot ignore that big of a deal, right? So there is clarity about the confusion. There is awareness about the fogginess or the uncertainty of the meaning of these symbols, right? You know that you are receiving them. You're just not sure about what they mean to you or what they are trying to bring to you as a message. But the interesting thing is that the more you try to understand this, the more you try to wrap your mind around it. And I want to say from the consciousness, not consciousness in an intuitive way. It's more consciousness as in when you are awake in your day-to-day, right? It's like this is more like this rationality consciousness, right? Thinking with your mind. It's like the more you do so, the more, okay, this World card, well, this card is already showing me this movement of, you know, circling around something that is unclear. But you know that, right? Maybe that's annoying to you, Pisces, as I'm feeling right now. It's like, you know better, right? You know better. So this World card here was talking about this circling around, maybe the same, it's like it's coming through as like if you've had, you know, the same dreams over and over again, or maybe the same uncomfortable feeling following a dream, right? It's like that is not the first time. That's what I want to say with this World card. It feels like it's spinning in circles. But the more you try to bring this rationality, this it's like it's not the intuitive consciousness that would be, you know, triggered by the moon in the darkness, right? Is more like this awake consciousness that wants to know, that wants to understand. There is almost like this imposition, perhaps, right? Because you know better, that you should know, you should see. There is something that it's unclear and you don't like that unclarity. It's like you want to see it as clear as day, right? The confusion is clear. You want to clarify this confusion even more, right? But the more you do so, it's like the faster this, it's like the spinning of your world is revolving around this confusion, right? And by doing this with your rational mind, with your logical mind, it's like you're just propagating the confusion even more instead of seeking clarity. I hope this makes sense, Pisces, because with the Eight of Wands here next, I feel like this is just accelerating this confusion, right? It's almost like going down even further this rabbit hole of not having clarity. This card, I don't know if you see it. You see these lines here in the center? This was talking about a slice of what you're able to perceive. So if you are desiring to see the full picture, the full gamut of perspective, right? It's like this is talking about like this 360-degree perception, right? This is what you want. This is what you desire. This is what your conscious mind wants to achieve. But this is talking about like your perspective is like, instead of being like this, it's being narrowed down, right? And the more you insist, I want to say, in this speeding up, it's almost like you're digging yourself a hole and you're going deeper and deeper, and the more you go into this circle of confusion trying to understand it rationally, it's like the smaller this slice is, right? It's like the more narrow this piece of understanding, right? It's like you are not going to understand what is going on in your world and around your world because you're trying to understand it from a place that is total, that is, it's like basically you're not seeing that this is happening, that this narrowing down of your vision is happening because you want this. And it's almost like because you want this so bad, because you want to see this 360 full vision, this is what you want, right? It's like you're trying to, shine a light on this. But what is really happening is that you're walking towards a dense, dark forest, okay? This is what I'm seeing with the Eight of Wands. It's like the more this vision is narrowed or closed down in itself, right, the less you see about what is really going on in the world around you. It's because you are walking, it's like you're going faster and faster into a place of fogginess, right? Imagine this situation. This is how I'm seeing it right now. It's like you are at the beach, right? You are receiving this constant, overwhelming series of big waves on your head, right? And having to deal with all of the symbols. Perhaps it's just a multitude of abstractions and visions and unclear information, right? Because it's all coming in so fast and so it's like they're so big that you cannot see clearly what you're receiving, even though it's like that there is discomfort there. It's like perhaps you're trying to fight this discomfort with okay, Pisces, you are trying to see something, but by doing so, you're not seeing this, right? You're leaving this beach after being knocked down by several intense waves of symbols and images and information. And then when you walk, back to the shore and, into mainland, it's like you're heading towards this. It's almost like you're trying to escape the overwhelming effect of the waves at the beach, but seeking clarity in this dense forest. But it's like you're not, it's like that's the reason why your path is becoming narrow, but it's not your path, it's like your vision, your ability to see, right? It's like you're just seeing a slice of what is there, of what is going on. But as I said, you should know better, right? This is what you're telling yourself. You should know better because you know the truth. And this Ace of Swords coming next, right, is talking about, yes, the truth is in this, is in these symbols, is within the waves of intense information that perhaps is overwhelming to you right now. But this piece of truth can only be found once this Seven of Swords is transformed into the Seven of Cups, right? It will not make things more, it's like easier to perceive or easier to understand. It's like switching from trying to understand rationally and feeling into it, feeling into the piece of truth that is contained within the overwhelming amount of information that you are receiving in abstract form, right? It's like perhaps you don't know, perhaps we're talking about like how you are hyper aware, right? Or okay, so I just heard hyper vigilant. It's almost like you're not allowed, maybe, okay, so maybe you are having, bad dreams, Pisces, and you're not allowing yourself to dream. You're not allowing yourself to sleep. It's like maybe you are, taking quick naps, because if you were to go into a full night's sleep, it's like you would be filled up with uncomfortable symbols again, and maybe that is what you're trying to run from. But remember, when you run from it, it's like you're just narrowing down your vision or your ability to perceive what it is that is happening when you do so, right? It's like running from this or, trying to understand this is just going to increase the confusion or increase the fogginess, right? Or the unclarity that you're going through, even though, yes, there is this piece of truth, this one truth that is here, right? From, the entire amount of information or images or abstractions that you are receiving, perhaps in dreams, right? It's like it is there. The piece of truth that you are seeking, that you know that you can find it, that you want to find it, that you want to understand. Yes, it is there, but you have to feel into it. You cannot try to see it logically or understand it with your mind, right? And the interesting thing, just to finish here, is like we're ending with another 7, right? We begin with the 7 and we're ending with another 7, meaning the state of confusion is still going to be there, right? When we're talking about the traditional meaning of the 7 of Cups, yes, that is something associated with that card, right? So perhaps you are not going to move away from this confusion, right? But accepting that this fogginess is there, that the unclarity is there, but within the unclarity, there is a piece of truth that you are able to find, right? Because it's like it's almost like you have the attunement, is what I just heard. You have the attunement, right? I'm seeing this as like a musical instrument, right? You have the attunement to find it. But it's like, It's like if you lean towards this consciousness with, okay, it's coming through as desire. And I'm just trying to feel into it because, you know, showing your desire is not a bad thing, Pisces, but it feels like maybe this is too shallow, I want to say, right? Or too narrow, right? It's like whatever you're doing to try to make sense of what you're receiving, the effect of it is exactly the opposite that you want, right? And this is what you're not perceiving, I want to say. So it's almost like accept this moment of unclarity, accept this moment of fogginess, accept this moment of not knowing, right? And receive it. It's like allow yourself to receive this wave of discomfort or this wave of pieces of information that are too abstract or too overwhelming, because it's almost like, I want to say, when you switch this, right, to bringing all of your intense rationality to trying to figure this out and instead feeling into it, right? And it's almost like be in the water, right? You are in this sea receiving this hit from the waves, right? It's a series of 7 waves and they are coming whether you want it or not, right? So be in the water. Do not, it's almost like do not escape to the land, into the dense forest. That this is the image that I'm seeing with this 8 of Wands, right? So do not escape from the sea into land. It's like to find this piece of truth that is among these 7, right? It's like you have to be in the water. It's like face the 7 waves, in a sense. Face the 7 waves, right? So yeah, I hope this was a little bit clearer to you, or at least helped to clarify what is going on with you, because uncertainty, unclarity is pretty much, you know, the entire atmosphere of your reading today. But accepting it, I feel like it's the way to go, Pisces. But I'm going to pull more cards for you in the extended reading, as well as the astrological runes. So if you want to join me there, the link is in the description box down below. And if not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.